It takes some of you anywhere. Thank you, Hema. Thank you, Deep. Thank you, Vandana. Thank you, Austin Pratham Board. Thank you, Pratham USA. And a tremendous thanks to all of you who donated to the Ultra Marathon for Pratham and helped us to raise over $21,000. So, 101.6 miles in just under 35 hours. Was it hard? Yes, it was hard. This race was my ultimate test of both body and mind. It was a test of whether my body could withstand the myriad hurdles inherent in this kind of race, plus the multiple hurdles I could not have anticipated. It was a test of whether my mind could hold up under the withering blows of fatigue, cramps, and a strong desire to just lay down. Between 35 and 50 miles, I was at times doubled over with pain due to abdominal cramps that had me yearning for the simple oasis of a porta potty. My intestines were in such bad shape at one point that my abdomen had ballooned to the size of a third trimester pregnancy. At around 70 miles, my body and mind were so overcome with fatigue that I actually fell asleep while walking, very close to the edge of a cliff. I then tried to sleep on a rock, with water bottles still strapped to my back, but the cold mountain air had me shivering so much I could not rest. At 92 miles, I was hallucinating with such starkness that I could not differentiate reality from all the conjured images. At 100.6 miles, a mere 1 mile from the finish, I leaned over heavily and stopped, completely overcome with fatigue. My pacer, my friend Jeremy, said softly, "Come on, man, you're almost there." And I replied, "You can't imagine how tired I am." But I finished. And I finished running with panache, with my hands in the air, with my daughters next to me, with my parents cheering, with my lovely wife at the finish line. Woo. So given the struggles of this race, some may ask, did you consider stopping? And yes, the thought flickered through my head. At 50 miles, bent over in pain, almost dehydrated and only halfway done, sure, a voice of surrender called out to me. But how would I explain that to my children? How do I look into my daughter's eyes and say, "Daddy quit"? How do I explain not following through on my part to raise these funds for Pratham? How could I even begin to consider stopping when I thought of these children in India? These children craving an education, some of whom live in squalor, these children whose struggles of every day are a perpetual mountain compared to my temporary molehill. You see, this race was not just about what I could force my body to do. It was not just about a long trek through the mountains. It was a vehicle for Pratham, a means to give to these children something we know they crave, an education. These children help to keep me going. These children are the ones we are all here for tonight. So yes, I did this because I love running. Yes, I ran this race because Manisha and I want to help these children receive an education so that they can help themselves and break the cycle of poverty. But this is also a salute to my parents, to our parents. This is a recognition of their sacrifices for us. I thought of my father, of his youth that often involved the lack of chuckles. A boy who studied by the scattered light of a street lamp because his family could not afford kerosene oil. Many of you can relate to my parents' stories, as your parents have told you similar stories. And you have seen through their example what it means to struggle, to persevere, to succeed. These children of Pratham we are lending a hand to, these may have been our parents decades ago. Yes, our parents sacrificed, but they don't want our thanks. They don't need our recognition. They will see what Pratham, what all of us are doing for these children in India, and they will perhaps think our children are paying it forward. And then they can look back at their struggles, their lives, their children, and say, it was all worth it. In closing, we can also give these kids something more than the nuts and bolts of a formal education. I fervently hope that through the efforts of Pratham, they can also find that confidence to step forth in the direction of their dreams, to realize it's okay to stumble as long as they have the confidence to get back up again. For it is those dreams and passions that add texture not just to the lives of these children, but to all of our lives. Whether it's charity work, running, writing, reading, teaching, designing, whatever it may be. Find those things that keep your body and mind in motion. Be in the arena, whatever that arena may be. To quote T.S. Eliot, only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far they can go. And perhaps a bit closer to home, I don't run to escape life. I run to prevent life from escaping me. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for your generosity.